Well, it's hi, hello. It's 218, 323, 2022, Monday morning. And I just thought I'd live a little bit. Um, Mainly because um, I've noticed a direct correlation to um, the V2K attacks are a lot less, almost non-existent, while I'll be sitting here awake and my wife is asleep. So, and sometimes I'll hear them doing whatever, and I'm absolutely certain that they're using RNM on her while she's asleep, and just like they do when I'm asleep. Um, Granted, there's not a lot I can do about it any more than I can do about it when they're attacking me while I'm asleep. The only difference is they aren't targeting her in the same manner that they target me. They don't. She's not afflicted with V2K, um, and some of the other things that they do. Um, she does understand my targeting and what's happening, but um, doesn't isn't aware that it's happening to her. I don't think. I mean, I've mentioned to her that I'm absolutely certain she's targeted, but she gets kind of aggravated when I say they're doing it to her because she's not, like I said, she's not being afflicted with the voiceless skull and the other aspects of targeting. Hi, Awaken. How are you doing? I'm just sitting here thinking about how I know they're messing with her with remote neural monitoring while she's asleep, while I'm not asleep, when I'm not asleep. Because when she is asleep and I'm just sitting here, they aren't using V2K on me. They aren't talking to me. They're not attacking me. So it just makes sense that they're attacking her while she's asleep and I'm awake. Because they're not, if she's asleep, they're not bothering me. Like right now, they're not bothering me. You don't hear them talking in the background. You don't hear the V2K. Because a lot of times when I'm just sitting here doing a live, you'll hear them in the background on V2K doing their hate speech. So I just wanted to do a live about it. Yeah, I know it's not good, but see, the reality is we can't do anything about these scumbags doing it to us. So how are we supposed to help others that we love or whatever, right? How are we supposed to stop them from doing it to them? Um, I don't know. It's really frustrating, but um, like I say, there's no way to stop them doing it. Uh, what are you talking about? You got? You got an E for email reference. UK put me into care setup. What's that? But anyway, like I'm saying, I'm absolutely certain that that they're doing the dream manipulation to her, and um, the EMF broadcast, whatever, microwave, whatever it is. There's so many. I mean, nobody knows for sure, but everybody has theories, and um, it's absolutely obnoxious, but that um, that all the people that it is happening to, like you, Awaken, like me, and every other target, that these Nazi scumbag, Stasi, pathetic leech worm scumbag pieces of shit, or just are able to do this, and to so many people around the world, and with impunity. Um, when it's happening to me, it's a totally different matter. But since I know that it's being done to the one I love, is more aggravating. It puts a certain stamp on it. Because when you want to protect yourself, you use a little more rationality as to how far you're willing to go. But when someone is attacking a person you love, your inhibitions and rationality are out the window. Um, I don't know. I just I've Vinko, I appreciate that. I I I know you're going through it too. I know a lot of people go through it. Um, but like I said, they're not attacking me on V2K now, and it's it's like this when she goes to bed without me, when like when I stay up. But if I go to sleep, I think they attack both of us, but I don't know. But she doesn't, she doesn't know what's happening to her, but I do. I'm absolutely certain of it. I don't. Normally, I'm not. I don't have an issue with saying what I need to say, but right now I'm really aggravated. Um, I mean, I know it's my neighbors. I know it's a couple of them here. I know it's Rhonda Bujanowski. I know it's Ian Sendra. I know it's Gino and Colleen that live over here, and that's the shit of it. I'm surrounded by these people. They've moved in here, and um, I've we've lived here a number of years, um, 10 years, and they all moved here around a certain time. The Bujanowskis moved in here like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, um, and then he moved in here like three or so or four. So they moved in here about around the same time, and during that time, as I've said before, that um, six people have died, and I know a couple of them that I talked to were experiencing targeting. Um, the other few that I know of that died in the same manner. Um, I I was I wasn't really in contact with them, so I don't know if they were experiencing being targeted. But these people are gang stalkers. I know they are, and the hardest part about it is being able to prove it. And I don't really as far as being angry, um, have a desire to cause physical harm to people. But these people that have that have assaulted me and verbally assaulted me in person and other things, and the things they've done, um, when I see them, I just get this. It's just would just like to choke the fucking shit out of them. But I'm smarter than that. I'm not going to go that route. But still, the deep seated anger and resentment towards these people is there. and now even more knowing that they're messing with her while she's asleep and while I'm not. But I will put it to you like this as a target. You your your views change with a constant waterboarding, death threats, hate, slander, lies from a certain amount of people, and you know who those people are, and you're unable to, unable to stop it, or um, for that matter, really defend yourself. Um, thank you, There's. Um, it's quite all right. I Why did you have to change your appearance? Just curious. What's what is the motivation for? I noticed you changed your name. I understand that. That's not an issue to me. I mean, but I normally I come on here on StreamYard, but I just I didn't want to go through the bother of setting up a StreamYard a StreamYard live. And but like I said, I'm sitting here, and they're not, they're not threatening me. They're not playing their schemes or whatever, their bullshit that they talk normally on V2K. And I've, over time noticed a correlation to when this happens. It's when my wife is asleep. So I'm aware that they're afflicting her with things while she's asleep, and I'm not, if I'm sitting here awake, because there's no B2K going on right now. At least not the normal threats, not the normal harassment, not the normal bullshit that they normally pull. Um, but I I don't uh, I don't know of other, I mean, I'm just trying to, trying to talk, because I know that, other targets. I don't know if you're in the same situation, um, that you do have a significant other as a target, and the possibility that they're they're afflicting them. Well, Vinko, I don't know exactly who was the first one to use, to invent voice to skull, but I know that um, there are several patents from the 60s, the 70s, to do with microwave hearing, um, EMF manipulation, some in the 70s. Um, there's audio spotlight, which is akin to V2K, that was created in 1974. Um, but you can do research and find, if you really want to find out who. But um, the reality of it is, it doesn't matter who invented it, to be honest, because it's like the atom bomb. The point isn't that Oppenheimer and Einstein and those scientists, and invented the atom bomb and nuclear warheads. It's it's the people that it's available to use it. And regardless of, what intentions Einstein had by, splitting the atom and whatever, the intentions he might have had are not the same as the people that came after him. So regardless whether of who invented voice to skull, who invented remote neural monitoring, um, even though it can be used for good or ill, and in general, if it's able to be used as a weapon, they will. People will. So it's like the old adage, don't shoot the messenger. Um, And that's what I feel like is happening with targeted individuals. Um, we're being harassed, threatened, defamed, character assassinated, murdered. Um, and the individuals that are gang stalkers that, get a kick out of it, um, are are free to do it at will. Um, but like I said, I'm of the understanding now that while she's asleep, that they're using remote neural monitoring on her, and because I'm sitting here and I'm not hearing, I'm not being assaulted with V2K or the remote neural monitoring, where they'll afflict you with images, um, not like holograms, not like they're putting something in front of your face, but actually putting images, and thoughts in your head of horrible things. If you're a target, you understand that. Um, that's I'm sorry to hear that, Vinko, that your ex-wife was a gang stalker. Um, well, as it goes, I just understand that that there's no protection for you. You can't you can't put an antivirus helmet on your head. You can't put a firewall helmet on your head, on your brain, on your mind, which is the computer they're attacking. You know, um, because the reality is your body, right, is the antenna. You're the receiver. Your nervous system, your DNA is an antenna, and your brain is a computer. It's a computer. It's an electric. You're an electric being. You have an EMF signature that is, as I've said before, like a fingerprint. So they don't have to know where you are. They don't have to see you because you're sending out you're emitting an EMF pulse of your own, 24 hours a day. Your body has its own electromagnetic field, and that's how they're able to access it. And the technology's been around for a while, that they've been able to manipulate EMF with microwave technology for decades. They've been doing it for decades. Um, as I said, with the advent of with quantum computing and artificial intelligence, they're able to do it on a grand scale. Not unlike how they used to do when computers were, a 5 megabyte hard drive was, the size of a small car. Um, Now you, you you're, you can have a peta a petabyte hard drive in the palm of your hand, pretty much. So the information gathering ability is exponential, um, and their ability to monitor millions of people at once, um, with just, let's say, one D wave computer. One D wave, as I've said before, could monitor anywhere from 50 to 100,000, maybe more, human minds and map them. And and that was years ago. And as it goes, that nobody really. I don't say shouldn't say nobody. Generally, the populace forgets what Edward Snowden tried to tell us, that they're able to see what you're thinking. They're able to manipulate people. Um, clandestine experiments with like MK Ultra and COINTELPRO and all of the surveillance uh, entities, CIA, whatever, whoever, whatever, whichever alphabet agency you want to talk about, um, have had this ability for a long time. I mean, um, like I said, the interview Edward Snowden did is going on 15 years old now, and you know, um, he said we can do this. You know, he said they're able to see what you're getting ready to type when you're in a chat room. You know, before you're as in real time while you're typing it, and when you say, oh, I don't want to say that, and you go back and you backspace and you go forward again, they can see that. He flat out said that. He said we can do this, and he was just an NSA subcontractor. Okay, he wasn't technically like, you know, a full-fledged agent. He was just somebody that they were using like consulting. And he saw the clandestine things they were doing, and he stood up and talked about it. But as I was saying, shooting the messenger. Um, they basically shot the messenger. Uh, he had to hide. He had to run. He had to hide. He had to go to Russia, wherever he's at now. I don't know. But you know, it's a it's a hard road to travel. There, there you, there you go, Xerxes. Um, I, uh, I feel your pain about the impersonation, because they've been doing that to me for years. I've in a few lives, I've mentioned that, you know, I I've found a fake profile they created for me on a been verified type site. Um, I'm absolutely certain they're using um, my content. Um, and like you just said, probably going into other platforms impersonating me. But the reality is as much as I reported, as much as I've done to try and combat these people, the the view of law enforcement is not to do anything. I've said before, is it that they're complicit or they just don't care? I'm of the opinion it's more complacent, and they're complicit with the overall scheme, the overall plan, whatever it may be. Um, for the general populace. Um, and with the understanding of Havana Syndrome, which has been around a few years. They're able to do it to, you know to pretty much anyone they want. Um, there's there's no deterrent. Um, there are no subsequent laws um, to help a target if you are targeted. Um, I understand. Yeah, it's true that, considering that they have been able to do it for decades, and it's been quite a bit longer than 2 decades. But yeah, I understand your sentiment with the 2 decades. Um, and yes, I've experienced that too. Awaken about where they'll change emails, lines that you type. I've I've found several posts that I've done on like Facebook that were altered, um, using verbiage that I don't use, things I don't say, I would never say, and and you know and in many cases, right here on YouTube, making a comment, and the comment is eviscerated. There's no longer a comment, or it never did. It never reached its destination. Um, and that happens a lot. That happens a lot. Um, and I'm with you on that, Venko, about being a target. That their intention is to set you up, whether it be for a crime or something that you had no you weren't party to. You didn't you weren't involved in, and you don't even know it existed until they come knocking at your door. Um, but yet, as it is, I've got off topic because I just the reason I did this live was because I just wanted to bring, have a little, I don't I don't know how you documentation, whatever, about my understanding that they don't afflict me with V2K when my wife's asleep. So logically, right? Logically, they're not they're not aiming their attacks at me right now. They're focusing them on my wife, which, as I said, when it's me, um, the aggravation isn't it isn't good, but it's um, I know they're targeting me. So see, it's I know it. So they they're afflicting her with it, and she has no idea. So they're probably performing their revenge porn or whatever the fuck it is they do while she's asleep, like they do to me while I'm asleep. Um, and impersonate her. That I've already said that before. I know they've impersonated her with me and people before. On B2K, saying that, oh, it's her, and I'm like, bit bullshit. You're not. My wife has nothing to do with you assholes. I know that. But it creates a different atmosphere. And like I said, I'm not violent, but when it happens to her, I have I have desires to be violent with them. Of course, I mean, you can't turn that off. When someone is attacking your loved one, you have to defend them. You have to protect them. And the frustration is that with this shit, you can't even protect yourself. So how are you supposed to protect the ones you love? You can't protect yourself. So how are you supposed to defeat the attacks on someone else? I mean, even though they don't know what's happening or might not. So I've come, to the realization that their ability to remain anonymous, or you know be use several stock accounts, fake stock accounts, whatever, fake a shitload of accounts on YouTube. We've got the perps doing that. Well, their ability to remain anonymous has been accented through um let's, for lack of the better word, the doxing ability. um you know um People whine about being doxed because, knowing your name, knowing where you live, knowing your phone number, knowing your email, knowing all, your information. Well, these people already know this. They know all your information. They know your address. They know your name. They know where you live. They know all of your passwords. They know all of your history. They know all that shit, and they don't have a problem spreading it around and causing you grief. So I'm of the opinion, regardless of the consequences, don't allow these fucking scumbags to remain anonymous. If you know who's doing this to you, go to the police. Maybe they're not going to do shit. Of course, we know that. Maybe the FBI, the police, the CIA, nobody's going to do shit. But you reported it, and say who the fuck they are. Like I say, I know it's my neighbor here, Ian Sendra, doing this shit. And I know it's the other neighbor over here, Rhonda Bujanowski, and her son and her fucking husband are doing it. I know they are. I know they are because they stand out in front of my house, talking shit like that, and then pretend like they didn't, or, whatever. So if you know, I mean, what they're going to attack you regardless, whether you say their name or you don't. But my opinion is that should you have an issue where you get in trouble from the things they say about you, or the things that they pull, the crimes they commit, that they point to you or blame you for, or or set you up for, um at least the knowledge of who they are, these groups of people, is no longer like anonymous. They're not able to have that anonymity and just keep on doing it to person after person, because like I've said, they've done it to 6 people that I know of in here before me, which are dead. And I just I can't allow them to remain the ghosts they are. Um, just can't do it. Well, it's not just women, Vanko. It's women, it's men. I mean, you're a man, I'm a man. We're targeted. Women are targeted. Men are targeted. Um, Race isn't a factor. Sexuality isn't a factor. Religion isn't a factor. Um, I mean, they attack blacks, whites, Asians, eh, male, female, young people, old people, disabled people, military people, non-military. They're attacking diplomats, CIA. They're attacking all kinds of people. There's no um, how how you would say there's no linking profile. Um, Whether it's not like, oh, they're only attacking gay people or they're only attacking lesbian female or lesbian women or gay men. They're not only attacking um, military. They're not only attacking old disabled people. They're not just attacking kids. They're not just attacking women. So it's not really a profile. Granted, they're profiling the people they attack, but I digress. Um, like I said, I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit because I'm aggravated right now and I'm frustrated because I know that's what they're doing. They're not attacking me right now. They're attacking her. I mean, I kind of hear some of the things they're saying, and I've heard it before where they're talking about her, but they're not attacking me, and it's usually when she's asleep. So I'm absolutely certain, 99.9999996 certain that when I'm conscious, when I'm not asleep, they're attacking, and she is unconscious and asleep. They're attacking her, and vice versa. But when we are sleeping at the same time, they're attacking me. Now, whether they're attacking her, I don't know, but because they're attacking me, so I'm not really able to pay attention to that. But um, the relevant factors are that you're a target. Your loved ones are also a target. That's the point I'm trying to make here. If you're a target, people you know, people you love, people you're acquaintances with are a target, whether it be to attack you or just to have more targets. But um, just understand that when you're a targeted individual, everybody you know is a target. Just the way it is. So I appreciate you coming and listening and making comments. Mako, peace. And Cersei, I appreciate you coming in here. Um, and just regardless of where I go from here or where it goes from here, um, try and maybe use what I've learned to help you and to understand what's happening to you. When I was first targeted, when I first realized I was targeted, uh, I knew less than nothing about gang stalking. I knew less than nothing about being a targeted individual, about this sadistic program. Um, but um, as you are targeted, you have no recourse but to learn about why they're doing it, who's doing it, and how they're doing it. You can't help but know. Um, I used to think that someday that uh, this would all end, but until the people that are you know put in place to protect the public from terrorists, uh, from hate crimes, from civil liberties violations, privacy violations, actually do their job and listen to us instead of persecuting us, telling us, you're paranoid, you're schizophrenic, you have an illness, blah, blah, blah. Well, if that is indeed the case, if targeted individuals are all paranoid, all schizophrenic, all mentally ill, all fucking sick, whatever, um, that's just that's not logical. That the events that transpire, the assaults, the threats, the following, the spying, the slander, the character assassination, the thefts, the assaults, the vandalisms, whatever, the the entire program, they call it. I don't like to call it a program. I like to call it um, a clandestine experiment or a clandestine criminal organization. Um, I know people say it's a game. They call it the game, the gang stalking game, the gang stalking script, the gang stalking program. I don't like to lend them credence. I don't I don't want to concede credit to these people for for any kind of ability. Um, but just know that you're not the only one. You're not the only one. I'm not the only one. Um, but the understanding that there is nothing you can do about it makes you feel alone. The fact that you know governments won't help you, police won't help you. It isn't going to help you to go try and talk to a therapist because you're having anxiety issues about it or whatever, because they're just going to call you a paranoid schizo, or they're going to say it's your problem, you're the problem. They're going to make you the problem when you're being attacked. In other words, they victim blame. They blame the victim. And that's the problem. So, um, I hope you're right, uh, Lucy, but um, they've been doing it for so long. Um, I know some people say, "Oh, they'll get theirs," when they have to be go get judged by God. Well, that isn't going to help you here. That isn't going to help you now. That isn't gonna that isn't gonna change your life for the better. Um, for the 20 years you've been targeted or however long. That's that's not going to do any good for you. That you're saying that God's gonna judge them in the end when they're dead. Well, that's still they've still gotten away with it. They did it, and they continue to do it. So I understand that, but um, it's not going to help you in the here and now, which is where it's happening. So all I have that's all I have to say about that. But until it's recognized as terrorism, which it is, hate crimes, which it is, crimes against humanity, which it is, rape, murder. So just there's a lot of different pins you can put on it. There's a lot of different check marks that you can cross. Um, I don't I'm frustrated. I mean, I understand it. I know how they're doing it. I know a lot of the whys they're doing it. I know a lot of the who's that are doing it. I know a lot of the hows they're doing it. And so do a lot of other targets. So do a lot of people, but it's still here. They still, like I said, they travel with impunity. And not only impunity, it's like they get stars like they used to give you when you were in grade school and you did a good job, so they give them stars for being shitty people. Yeah, they got a star. They got their paycheck. They got their paycheck for being a shitty person to you. Not because you did anything to them, but because they're just fucking scumbags. And that's all there is to it. So, have a good night, good morning, wherever we are. Here, across the pond, outer space. I don't know where the fuck you're at. Have a good day. Thanks. Bye.